gotta admit, the end of the Fever Mercury game made me sit up for a second because it got a little spicy with Caitlin Clark having an interaction with DeWanna Bonner out on the middle of the floor, sort of waving her back to the bench.
Well. It seems Dana Bonner may have pulled off the most ill-advised move of her season, picking a fight with Caitlin Clark right in the middle of a Mercury Fever clash. Yeah, that backfired immediately. The camera's locked. Onto it, the fans caught every second, and social media hasn't stopped clowning since. The league can't spin this one away, so here's the question. Who actually came out looking worse in that whole back and forth?
Now, we all know that the Indiana Fever is trying to make a push for the playoffs. We've been getting mixed signals coming out about Caitlin coming back, about Caitlin being, somewhat ready to go. Then we got Stephanie White saying it's day-to-day again, basically. Well, I'm here to tell you, Caitlin Clark is not shying away from making headlines.
Let's break it down. Caitlin Clark, only in her second year, already runs the conversation. Whether she's hitting deep threes from the logo, threading no-look passes, or just walking across the hardwood, the WNBA, whether it admits it or not, revolves around her presence right now. And what happens when a veteran like Dana Bonner tries to puff her chest and challenge that spotlight, you get instant regret. You get a viral clip that's going to stick to her all season because Clark is a master at flipping small confrontations into headline-grabbing sagas. And the fans, they eat it up every single time.
This point in time, but that interaction stood out to me for a couple of reasons. I mean, number one, obviously, is the history there, where DeWanna Bonner was on the Fever for a cup of coffee and then winds up on the Mercury. Before the season, Caitlin Clark said she wanted to win a ring for her, right? She said, I want to win for her. And Caitlin Clark went out of her way to also, shine light on how DeWanna Bonner had risen up to the top of, near the top of the all-time WNBA scoring ranks. And then,
the Fever were already walking into this Mercury matchup under pressure. Their season has been a roller coaster, injuries stacking up, coaches playing the day-to-day guessing game, and fans feeling like they need a medical license just to track who's available. Clark, in and out of practice. Whispers about ankle and groin issues. The debate on whether to ease her back or toss her straight into the grind. It's been draining, and then right in the middle of all that, Dana Bonner decides it's the perfect time to square up with Clark. Brilliant timing. Now, Bonner's no newcomer. She's been around long enough to understand how narratives are built. But here's the problem. When you go at Caitlin Clark, you're not just going at a single player. You're going at her fan base, the cameras, the journalists, and the endless social media accounts that clip, repost, and meme every awkward second over and over. And that's exactly what happened here. Bonner thought she was flexing toughness, showing Phoenix wasn't about to get bullied. Instead, everyone saw a veteran trying way too hard to rattle the one player who already draws more attention than half the league combined. The actual face-off was almost comedic in how quickly it blew up. Clark stood firm, gave the dismissive hand gesture like, go yell somewhere else. Bonner puffed up, acting like she ran the floor.
To the right, behind the coach, coming out and jawing at DeWanna Bonner. DeWanna Bonner said,
and the refs, just standing there like statues, pretending the entire building didn't just see what went down. Because of course, when it comes to Caitlin Clark, officiating always finds a way to look clueless. Whether it's ignoring elbows to the head, swallowing the whistle on clear fouls, or calling her for phantom travels, refs seem allergic to managing Clark's games fairly. But in this case, the no call only made Bonner look worse, and fans picked up on it immediately. The second the clip hit Twitter, or X, whatever we're calling it, it blew up. Fever fans called it nonsense. Clark's supporters went, here we go again, another vet trying to bully Caitlin. Even Mercury fans were questioning why Bonner started the beef in the first place. After seeing what happened when others tried, Angel Ree, Kennedy Carter, Lexi Hall dragged into her own scuffles, you'd think the league would finally learn. But nope, rinse and repeat. Another so-called welcome to the league moment. Except Clark isn't a rookie anymore. This is her second year. At this point, it's not hazing, it's desperation. And the truth is, the Mercury know their window is closing. Diana Taurasi isn't turning back the clock, and Bonner herself isn't a long-term building block. Meanwhile, the Fever have Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and a core that could dominate for the next decade if developed properly. That terrifies older teams. That makes vets lash out. And when Clark doesn't flinch, when she dishes out the talk to the hand gesture in front of a sold-out arena, it's humiliating, instant regret, because instead of looking tough, Bonner looked shook. The irony, the Fever still lost the game, and yet nobody cared about the scoreboard afterward. Nobody was talking about Phoenix having 5 players in double figures. The entire conversation became Clark versus Bonner. That's the Caitlin Clark effect in real time. You can beat her team, you can rack up wins, but if she gives you that single viral moment, the night belongs to her. She runs the narrative and everyone knows it.
The most clutchest player on the damn team. I'm not just saying that just to say it. Lexi Hall stand on business when it's time to play.
Now let's give Lexi Hall her flowers, because if anyone deserved recognition in this chaos, it was her. She battled through 35 minutes, scored 18 points, and still locked in on defense while the Fever unraveled. Hull isn't the type to always light up the box score, but when games are tight, she shows up. And here's the kicker. While Bonner wasted energy trying to rattle Clark, it was Hull who was actually causing Phoenix problems. But of course, nobody's posting a highlight reel of that. Instead, we all get the clip of Bonner looking pressed while Clark casually waves her off. Which brings us to coaching. Stephanie White, what's going on here? You can't keep bleeding games like this, especially when the opposition has 5 different players scoring in double figures. That's not one mismatch. That's not one hot hand. That's your entire defense folding like cheap patio furniture. Wads are tired of the recycled cliches about being day-to-day and taking it one step at a time. At some point, excuses lose their weight, and while White juggles rotations, injuries, and media noise, her players are getting sucked into sideline drama that overshadows everything else. Here's the thing, Clark didn't need to put up 30 to win the night. All she had to do was stand there, brush Bonner aside with one hand motion, and let the cameras do their job. That's influence, that's leverage, and that's why every vet who thinks they can teach her a lesson ends up regretting it. You can foul her, shove her, trash talk her, but she'll still be the headline. And no matter how badly league execs wish they could mute it, the WNBA can't hide her. Fans nailed it online. Congrats, Dana, you just gave Clark another viral moment. And they weren't wrong. This is what fuels the Fever fan base. And truthfully, it fuels Clark too. She thrives on the drama, the skepticism, the so-called welcome to the league moments. And every time it happens, her brand gets even stronger. Meanwhile, veterans like Bonner just end up looking bitter, like they're gatekeeping a league desperate for new energy and fresh fans. And don't forget the crowd. Fever supporters have gotten louder, more united, and more fed up with the nonsense as the season drags on. They've watched Clark get cheap-shotted all year. They've seen whistles swallowed when she gets knocked down. And now, seeing a veteran step up and try to sun her, or maybe anti-her, just added proof the league doesn't know how to handle its brightest young star. So what do the fans do? They flip the script, they turn the clip viral, they push it into memes. Suddenly, Bonner's tough act morphs into instant comedy. That's regret on full display. And let's be clear, Clark gets it. She knows exactly how valuable these moments are. She's smart enough to realize every challenge thrown her way is a chance to win without scoring a single basket. She knows the cameras are watching, and she knows the fans are ready to amplify it, and she plays it just right. Enough sarcasm, enough composure to make the other player look unstable. That's its own kind of skill. That's why she's more than a shooter, more than a passer. She's a cultural shift. And Bonner, whether she meant to or not, just gave her another brick to build that wall. The fallout from the Bonner-Clark dust-up has almost been more entertaining than the game itself, because now every headline isn't about Phoenix's playoff chase or Indiana's struggles.